Alrighty, hello everybody and welcome into the SFA Season 12 Week 14. Yes, this is the final week um, of the regular season. If you don't know what the SFA is, it's an online dynasty ran entirely through Discord. You do not need the game. You do not need anything, just Discord. Um, you can set your depth charts, you can recruit, you can hire coordinators, you can schemes. We also have server games like fantasy football, fully functional sportsbook. If that's what you're interested in, feel free to check any of the links in our descriptions and join. If you are watching live, you may run into some advertisements because we are affiliated. Feel free to drop a Twitch Prime sub or a follow, and your name gets on stream. You help support us and buy a national championship trophy for whoever wins it this year. I'm thinking this might be the first year we have a user winning it, so we'll see what happens. Let's go. Nick testing it out for me. So if you don't know what BearCave is, we go through the best games of the week and then we sim to the end, and if it's close, we'll watch it. A lot on the line this week, a lot of users struggling to get bowl eligible, and then some playoff implications or games that impact division races happening. So a little bit different of a type of a BearCave selection this week. So let me get out my graphic and we'll get started. Yeah, well, this year ECU is actually going to pull it off. So alright, well, we're starting out kind of, I don't want to say soft, but new user at Marshall, very surprising team, has a chance to go to a bowl game. He is active in recruiting, but he doesn't really talk in the server. So we're going to see what this guy's all about. He's getting a Marshall team. He's a 68 overall with a chance at a bowl game. So if you're in the stream, let me know, heads or tails, or it's just kick or receive on this one. So let's get it started here. First game of BearCave. We had some big upsets today, most notably Ohio State, obviously, one of our last three undefeateds going down. We also saw Georgia Southern lose. San Diego State lost. And Florida State lost. A couple others. So there will be some probably big changes in the playoff ranking committee tonight, but we'll get to that a little later. Navy's been a pretty good team. A lot of rumors about users going to these military academies. I call BS, but we'll see. Rutgers has already claimed this division. They will be facing East Carolina next week. Remember, we do have a really good game day coming up. We got Nebraska, Paul Sanford, and Iowa, Jason Richardson, so we'll see that live. But Marshall is his Fink's old team. They went down into the dumps, and now this random coach comes in, builds them up to 5-6. Can they get it done in front of the home crowd? Ty Terry, SFA player out there. Don't see anything in the chat, so as always, I do kick. And here we go, game one of BearCave. Let's see what happens. And Navy scores immediately. Marshall, though, kind of doing their thing. This was the push game today as Navy takes a 2-score lead at this point. As we're nearing halftime, Marshall, you got to do something. And then if you care about the over-under in this game, I think it was 47.5 is what he put it at. And it looks like the under is hitting on this game. But Marshall adds a touchdown. We're at 24. 4-point game. And Navy quickly puts it back up. Can Marshall come back? Does not look like it. Next possession. No, 4th and 1, they can't do it. So looks like this game is going to end 24-10. And no quick touchdown. So Marshall, unfortunately, will miss a bowl. A lot of user teams now are out for the year in terms of watching their teams. Chris Cooley, SFA player, gets 2 touchdowns. Carpenter didn't do anything. They just couldn't convert in the red zone. A lot of different receivers getting catches. And then Navy, we've seen this team a little bit pretty good from this Damian Broussard guy. And then the running back, Kevin Harvey. Chris Cooley, SFA player, went off. Bernice Cesaro, SFA player as well, 63 yards. Ty Terry, 17 tackles. Holy smokes, 7 tackles for loss and a sack. He is an SFA player, and that is likely the last game of his career, as Navy may be one of the teams, because they're not a user, that gets kicked out of bowl season, so we'll see. But that was a big-time game. Welcome in, Musa Mania. One game in, and once again, another Florida man parlay broken. When are you going to learn? I wonder how much money you've lost from that. But I guess it's fine because you are always on top of your dailies. So you have a lot of extra money that a lot of us don't have. Marshall. All right, next game up is we have UCLA and LSU. Yui, if you're here, heads or tails, kick or receive, you get priority. A lot of kind of talk in the server between these two all year about the rushing leaders, and then Skyflyer dips, so, and now he's back, so kind of don't know how this game is going to go. Yui needs a win, though, for bowl eligibility. Tails, kick. Unless you win, Dogwater. Remember, any user who is 6-6 will automatically get into bowl season, assuming there's enough spots, and then I'll go based on who's the most active in the server. Here we go. Tiger bait is what they're calling UCLA. Oof. All right, she said, what did she say? Tails and kick, okay. All right, we're starting out kind of slow here. 7-point lead, and UE responds and takes the lead. All right, a beautiful first quarter there for the UCLA Bruins. Remember, this is a 3-point spread for LSU, and the over-under for this game is 63.5. 14-14, 21-14, here we go. Scoring starting to pop off, and boom, 2-score lead, but we know this LSU team, as they get a touchdown right before the half, might have been a yam. 35, and the over hits. Oh my God, no defense going here, and LSU's getting smoked. This is the first time we've ever really seen UCLA kind of pop off like this. 49-35, can they win this game? And they're going to get it close. Oh boy, we're down to a 1-score game. We're already at 91 on the over-under. There we go, 2 minutes left, 3rd and 2, up by 1 touchdown. Can UCLA find a way to win? They were up 21 in the 4th quarter. Trace, he is going to throw it, dumps it off to A.J. Sampson, and he steps out. Oh dear, Tavares Trace, probably the best game of his career, honestly, and they're going for it, so they don't even want to give the ball back here. They just want to end this game right here, right now. Empty. That's A.J. Sampson in the slot. He's over the middle. He dumps it off short of the line, and that's going to be a turnover. Maurice Warren, arguably UCLA's favorite target. We've seen him all year long, but LSU now is going to get a chance. All right, LSU now has a chance to come back, tie this game up. We know Munoz. We got Will Keller, who catches that one. He's tripped up from behind. Then we also got to watch out for Terrell Pryor, the SFA player. This team started out really hot. They were even a top 10 team in the country at one point. And then they kind of fell off a cliff. And we're yamming that deep, and oh, that would have been the game. Jake Spurlock drops the easy interception. And LSU lives to fight another down. Split backs, 3rd and 6. And he throws that into the ground. Oh, dear. So LSU and Skyflyer now are down to their final play of this game, potentially. Game on the line for UCLA. 4th and 6, shotgun, Munoz. They're bringing a blitz. It's picked up. He fires it open, man. John Hawthorne, the tight end, the same guy who caught the game-winning double overtime catch against Oklahoma. He's had a plethora of big plays over the season, and that was massive. Finds, once again, Hawthorne over the middle. He gets about 21 now, and LSU is starting to cook. It's UCLA with a bull on the line, choking a lead. They were up, like I said, 49-28 when the 4th quarter started. And over the middle, and that is dropped by Terrell Pryor, probably for the best to save some time. Nope, I haven't touched anything this season. 2nd and 10. We're floating it, and another dropped. That's twice now UCLA could have won the game. Munoz continues to live to fight another down. 3rd and 10. They got to get this in the end zone. Still at the 26. 59 seconds. Plenty of time. Hawthorne in motion. Probably got to watch out for him. And dumps that off. Gets a little bit closer. But once again, 4th down. Hawthorne's been the go-to guy on this drive. Can UCLA clinch a bowl berth? LSU over the middle. Wide open, man. Oh, no. The safety took a bad angle. Jeff Gold ties it up. 21-point lead erased in the 4th quarter. Oh, boy. But did they leave too much time for UCLA? Tie ball game. The over has hit. LSU is a 3-point favorite. They're down 21 in this quarter. All right, UCLA, you got to score. They have one of the best kickers in the country in Weisbacher, Tavarius Trace. This is legacy defining, and he is sacked by SFA player Nathaniel Bandon. So 2nd and 18 now. Clock is ticking. Remember, don't make a mistake here. You can't really win the game now, but you can definitely lose it. Don't be stupid. As it looks like they're just going to run some clock. Might be the best decision just to go into overtime at this point. Remember, you have the leading rusher in the SFA coming into this week, AJ Sampson. And Trace is going to dump that off, and it goes really nowhere. One more play here in the regulation period of the last week of the season. Barring a miracle, we get some overtime here. Between two users. Corner blitz. Trace just holds on to the rock and he throws an interception. But they make the tackle. Lucky Ducks. No, disaster avoided. Mumu Binwada, the SFA player, picked it off. All right, Yui. Heads or tails? And then offense or defense? Heads or tails, offense or defense? All right, offense or defense? All right, here we go. So the interception didn't matter. We've seen LSU in overtime once this year. They beat Oklahoma in double overtime. I don't think we've seen UCLA in overtime this year, as they start out with a mid-screen. Buckle up, because this might be a very long overtime period considering the score. Nobody's been able to stop anybody yet. I think it was double OT. Maybe it wasn't. I think it was double OT. Welcome in, Jarkus. All you've missed is a Navy beat Marshall to yoink their chance at a bowl, and then this game has gone into OT. This is the first OT period. UCLA blew a 21-point fourth quarter lead. And they're kicking a field goal here, so UCLA does get the stop. As obviously we saw this game a little bit earlier, massive upset. Doesn't change pretty much anything for Ohio State, but a big pick-me-up for Michigan. And then some other close game for Ole Miss. Oregon survives. Washington with a big win. We also saw Colorado beat Utah. Oh, it was no good. So apparently he missed it. I didn't even see it. I thought they made it. It didn't give me any. Normally when you miss, it gives like a whole, like the replay of it just grazing the upright. But he just plain missed. All right, UCLA goes to a bowl with any score. They have Wisebacker. He's a really good kicker, so it should be easy. Trace drops back. He dumps it off. Wide open, man. First down. They're at the 10. Any score sends UCLA bowling. It normally only sends us to the booth if it's a make. That's why I didn't even wince at it. 2nd and 9, and they fake the handoff. Dump it off AJ Sampson. He breaks one, and he gets smoked. LSU trying to lay the boom to jar the ball free. 3rd and 10. Clean pocket for Trace, but he's holding on to the ball. Back at the end zone, and it's out of bounds, so it will come down to the kicker. All right. A 18-yard field goal to send UCLA bowling. Wisebacker, the kick is up, and it's good! UCLA and Coach Huey are going bowling after a terrible season 11. She stuck with it, and now they will play once again here in a few weeks. Big time. They survived the 21-point comeback. (52-49), 101 combined points. Among the highest scoring games we've seen this year. But what was that throw from Trace? I'm sorry, man. He was begging to throw the game away. All right, let's take a look, see what happened here. Just an onslaught of scoring from both teams. AJ Sampson, 3 touchdown catches in the third quarter alone. Absolutely insane. Trace had a great day. Great end. I mean, on the ground, AJ Sampson did well, but look what he did through the air. And interception by Bo Lester, brother of Mo. And Wisebacker made the kick he had to hit. And Munoz did his thing, but it wasn't enough. Keller, Franz, transfer from Western Michigan, if you know. Obviously, Terrell Pryor. Tavion Galloway, didn't do much, SFA player. On defense, you had a sack here. Greg Kraft is back. Interesting. Bandit with a sack. SFA player Mumu Bin Laden with a pick. So big time game for both teams. All right, so after a big start to BearCave, now we're going to go down to the ACC and figure out this mess. So, we have 2 games back-to-back, and going into these, we're going to watch Duke and North Carolina first. The winner of this game will go to the ACC title game if Miami loses to Pittsburgh, and that game will be coming right after. So, Serial Access, Brio, if you're here, let me know heads or tails, kick or receive. Night game on the line. Both these teams will not know until after whether this game will matter or not. Miami has beaten both these teams, so they have the tiebreaker. But if Miami loses, the winner of this game will go. And then both these teams also beat Pittsburgh, so it's kind of like a 4-man. It works out kind of perfectly. All right, Kenan Memorial Stadium here. Normally this is a basketball game, but we're playing football here tonight. Big game skill activated. Let's go. First quarter for UNC, and they score first. Duke not going to back down, especially with that defense. North Carolina, though, quick touchdown for Duke. Are they going to hang in this game? This is a 3.5-point favorite for UNC. They are beating them up. This is also a 55.5-point spread, or over-under. And looks like North Carolina is taking them to the cleaners, and it looks like the over has hit. But can Duke battle back somehow? Only down 2 scores. It's still manageable. There they go. They get within 1 score now. We're going to go play by play here. Remember, once we get to 2 minutes, we'll jump on in. 4th down and 11. Here we go. They're going to go for it. Down 7, Duke with a chance at the ACC title. 4th and 11. Watch this team beat Pitt in overtime last week. They dump it off. Broken. No broken tackle. Now, they still have all of their timeouts. So now UNC, in the first year of Coach Sir Laxus Bryo, he had success at Arkansas State. Is he going to be able to make the ACC championship? Well, he has to get a couple first downs here first. Second and 14. That was a big play. In the middle, that linebacker with the black arm sleeves is Ouija Guido, SFA player. Over up the middle, they're just running it. Brian Wilson. Third down, 11. A first down here wins the game. Over the middle, a wide open man, and there it is. UNC gets the conversion they needed from Josh Harris, and that may have just clinched the division. Barring disaster, which we've seen a lot of this season, it should be it. He keeps it. Quarterback keeper. He goes down. Remember, this shouldn't matter. They should just kneel on it. 3rd and 2. They're just going to hand it off, and a lot of room to the right side. He cuts up field, breaks 2, stiffies a man, and that's going to end this game. So North Carolina now will go head to the locker room and watch how Miami and Pittsburgh plays out. There it is. UNC gets it done. There's Stanky Leg, the emotional leader of this team, the backup running back. Josh Harris. I guess there's a trophy in this game. I don't know what it is. Looks like a bell. Obviously not the Liberty Bell. Alright, come on. Let's get these end credits. I don't skip them because obviously it can crash the game. Nothing crazy there. It was kind of UNC in control the whole time. Pat Gibbs. The only SFA player, Chandler Johnson. And Preston Tame. What do you do blocking? He had 3 pancakes. Kicker, 5 extra points. Nice. All right, how did Duke do here? Adam Barnes, a freshman quarterback for Duke. So this actually might be a pretty attractive site if you are looking for a fun team. If you want to get in on the Buffalo ECU action in the ACC, you got a nice freshman quarterback and have a chance to bring in a running back. That could be a fun destination. Got Jeff Fritz blocking. Luigi Guido, SFA player. And didn't really generate anything outside of that. And they missed a field goal. All right. So North Carolina now has to watch and hope that Pittsburgh can pull off a miracle. Welcome in, Flame. So for anybody just joining us, including Flame, we had a Navy win. We had an LSU erase a 21-point lead from UCLA. Goes to overtime. They miss a field goal, and then UCLA wins by 3 to get bowl eligible. So that's an outright UCLA win, and then UNC just covered. So now we head down to we're going to Pittsburgh. It's a home game for Pittsburgh. Fortunately, Pittsburgh a few weeks ago looked like the favorite to win this division, but they've dropped 2 in a row to UNC and to Duke. So now this game does not matter for them. They are going to a bowl game no matter what. But Coach Crew, if you're here, kick or receive. So Clemson, the #1 team in the country, who we will see play a little bit later, they are either going to face Miami at 8-4, or they're going to face UNC. Now, we know Miami has some SFA players, most notably Mark Liu, 99 overall SFA quarterback. It's time he actually starts playing like that. Pitt, on the other hand, they have Jaws Patterson, the freshman, his freshman year. And he also just got a big commit from an SFA in-game quarterback, Cookie Fetz. So maybe next season for Coach Crew, there's going to be a little bit of a QB controversy. Does he move Jaws back to running back, or does he keep Jaws at quarterback and find something else to do with Cookie Fetz, depending on his skill set, like he did Ricardo Joseph, who plays in the slot? Interesting things coming for Pitt. All that matters now for Pitt is beating Miami and pretty much ending their modern era run of relevancy. Pretty much they've been out of the limelight for a few years now. This year they're really supposed to take another step and get back to the ACC championship, which they have a chance to do right now. But if they don't, I think Miami is kind of gone. Days of Matt Barkley's Miami no longer with us. So let's see what happens here. First quarter, Miami takes it, and Pitt adds a field goal. For those of you who are focusing on the CC Sportsbook at home, you got Miami as a 5-point favorite, and the over-under for this game is a 63.5, so not a great start, and Pittsburgh goes down 18 here. Oh dear. At home, just absolutely brutal in front of these fans. Can they give them something to cheer for? It doesn't look like it. A team, I believe, that was 6-3, now stumbling down the stretch. But they have a chance here to get it back within a score, and they do not. And Miami finish it and clinch their chance to a ACC championship. No, Pittsburgh, there you go. You're going to get the score. Now it's time for the onside kick. I'm going to watch this just to make sure we get to the onside kick. All right, pretty much game on the line. They still have 2 timeouts, though, so they could probably get the ball back with about 10 seconds left. But that was just a terrible kick. And then the kicker does tackle him. So Miami, all they have to do is get 1 first down and the game is over. Or bleed a little clock. You've got Mark Liu here. And this is a matchup we've seen in the past. Clemson and Miami back at it again. Coach Siraxis Bryo doesn't look like he's going to the ACC championship in his first year. It's still always a good season ending in a bowl game in your first year at a new school. First down ends the game. They're going to hand it off out wide. Can he get there? He does. First down, Jim Howard, and Miami does it. They're going to clinch their way to an ACC championship game. In the most jumbled division in the country. So if you tail the Sickos parlay, we're now 2 for 2. Barring disaster here. But we will see Pittsburgh in a bowl game here in about a week or 2. Remember, bowl season, all users will be eligible. You'll find out your games after conference championships sometime on next week. As the U, Mark Liu gets it done on the biggest stage. So now it's him versus Clemson. Obviously no playoff hopes here for Miami, but yeah, no chance for Miami. Yeah, Miami's not going to the CFP. They aren't even ranked right now. All right, so it's the John Stone to Mark Liu connection. Doing well. Daniel Sisk gets something going, but weird stretch here. Ricardo Joseph played at quarterback today. Oh dear, did we get an injury from Jaws Patterson? Something to keep an eye out. Maybe on his first run of the game, maybe that is why they didn't play well. Interesting as Daniel Sisk now. Just in time, think. Really what you missed was UCLA almost blowing a 21-point lead to lose a bowl bid, but she won in OT. And then Miami just clinched the ACC Coastal. Rafi Spriggs, SFA player, gets a sack. He's kind of been doing it all for them this year. Same with Lacoby Dean. Marshall didn't do anything. They got toast. Marshall lost. Howard, look at the negatives. It's funny. But John Stone. Joe Shaw. Isaiah Showalter gave up a sack, SFA player. Oh, this defense, we just don't even know anybody on here. It's so sad. My favorite defenses of all time is the Miami team with Matt Barkley. That team is incredible. Anyways, 24-17, Miami gets it done. They'll play another week. Yeah, God's Power Offer, Telvin Smith. Just so many great players on that team. All right, now we're going to head to the Sickos game of the week, which is Kentucky and Tennessee. So, Nick, if you're here, kick or receive, because you are at home. And then we're going to do a prediction on this game. because it is the Sickos game. Alright, so if you've been following the recruiting portion of our server, you know that the fullback from Kentucky, Hazelnut, is entering the portal. So this is going to be his final game in a Kentucky Wildcat uniform. Whether he gets drafted or not remains to be seen, but he will be playing somewhere else no matter what. So, will Hazelnut get a TD here today against Nick? And obviously, Nick, terrible year for this former #1 seed last year. Lost a lot of talent on the offensive side in particular. So, we'll see if they can still make a bowl game. This is definitely a team you do not want to face as a 6-6 user in a bowl game. Alright, not a lot of picks here. Don't see Nick saying anything, so we're just going to get into it. Dude, it's just a bot. Just ignore it. DH Baller always comes in. And we got snow here in Kentucky. I don't know if that happens at Neyland. I assume it does. There's Hazelnut getting ready. That man could be in your threads next year. He wants a payday. He wants to win. Not doing a lot of winning here in the SEC. There will only be 3 winning teams in this division this year, as Alabama got toasted by Auburn. That was hilarious. South Carolina, rough year. Snow in Neyland. Might just be Nick's dandruff from the sideline from all the stress of coaching a bad football team. Yeah, I didn't know it snowed in Tennessee, but it makes sense. They're pretty far north. They're the north of the south. A lot of Kentucky fans over there in that corner. All right, Nick, kick or receive. Yep, you win the toss, kick or receive. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Kick. All right, there we go. All right, here we go. Kentucky and Tennessee. No score here early on. Oh boy, 0-0. Of course, I picked Bishop Moore in fantasy, but Tennessee's a 5.5 point favorite, and the over/under is 57.5. And Tennessee still no scores here in the snow. Snow really cucking them out here, but 7-7 here at halftime. Oh, baby, this one is going to be a barn burner, reminding me of the SEC Championship last year where it came down to very low scoring, but Tennessee breaks through. They score 2 in a row. They score 3. Kentucky just shitting themselves there in the third quarter, but here they are. They're on their horse. They're coming back. Can they get a stop? They do. All right, we're going to go just one play at a time here. Can Kentucky score? And they do. All right, here we go. 1-score game. Kentucky at home in the snow. They just need a few first downs to go bowling. Connects out wide, but he goes out of bounds, stopping the clock for Kentucky. Bishop Moore having an okay day. Not a lot of touchdowns, though. 2nd and 10. Looks like Bishop Moore and Nick have made up through their dates on the water skis, or on the Sea-Doos, as we get, oh dear, He breaks a tackle, and he somehow gets the first down. Bishop Moore showing off his run talent. And now it's getting saucy. One more first down pretty much ends this game. I don't even know what that Bishop Moore run was. Hands it off. No, he keeps it again. Moore cuts inside, and he goes down. Second and 7. There are actually a few SFA players on this Kentucky team, like Avery De La O, the safety. Also got Candler, the corner. As they go out wide, they get a stiffy there. And that could do it. Tyson Wilson finally doing something. So it looks like this game is pretty much over unless Kentucky screws it up. And does nothing there. Tyson Wilson, his entire year, has sucked except for that one play. So, but he's having a day. 120 yards, 3 tutties. Maybe the 2 straight off games helped him out. Second and 11. Are they going to throw it? No, they're just going to hand it off to Wilson. One more play here, barring an incompletion or a turnover, it is game. One more snap, they're going to make it a real play. Hand off to Wilson, and breaks one, breaks a couple, and oh boy, that is the game. And Tennessee will go bowling. Watch out if you're a user in a bowl game. You do not want to get matched up with Tennessee. So for those of you who care, the Sickos parlay hit. As Tennessee gets a cover, it's been a pretty chalk BearCave so far. I believe all the favorites have won except UCLA. But we still got plenty of time, and it's a weak Ohio State loss, so there's bound to be more ridiculousness on the way. We just picked the playoff, and then there's, based on our rankings, there are a few more bids with auto ties, like the 2 highest next ranked users go to the Citrus Bowl, the next highest two G5 teams go to the New Orleans Bowl, but then all the other user bowls are randomly selected. Well, they're technically, you can select your own bowl game, but I'll go live for like 20 minutes and show all the bowl games and the results. But yeah, the actual matchups are random in those. Alright, let's see how this one shook out. We got Kentucky, we got Tennessee. I mean, Wilson kind of just popped off, and then Dickens tried to bring it back, but he just could not. Bishop Moore, not the best day. We'll see what he does next year. As Beach was the leading receiver. O'Hare. Got a sack here. Jamarian Sippins, the number 2 recruit in the class, got a sack. Sam Powell didn't do anything. Okay, cool. Kicker, nothing. And then Kentucky. What do you mean the guest co-host? It's just me. We got Mark Harris here. 3 TDs, 2 interceptions. Hazelnut only got 1 carry. This is why he's transferring. This man is too good to only get 1 carry. And he doesn't even get a pass target. So no TD for him today. He did get a couple pancakes, but that is why he is transferring. You got Sean Candler, SFA player. Avery De La O. Alright, so set complete this prediction. No TD, so the majority won. Not a lot of points on that one, though, at all. Not really much going on there. Not a lot of you were confident in a pick on Hazelnut. All right, here we go now. We're going to the Patreon watch party, and this was the closest vote we've had yet in terms of who gets watch party, who gets the BearCave game of the week. There was two that stood out. It was UCF, USF, and then this game in the Big Ten. The Sunbelt game ended up winning for the watch party by 1 vote, and yeah, so here we are. Flame, you get the honors of heads or tails, kick or receive, and here we go. For those that care, this game is 4.5 point spread for Illinois, picked by our Patreon members, and the over-under, picked by the TC Algo, is 47.5. Northwestern, best known for their win and one and only win over Ole Miss, which technically is the second best win in the country outside of Michigan's upset this week over Ohio State. This division is already cleaned up, as Iowa has the head-to-head over Minnesota. So 7-5 regardless, doesn't matter for them. They'll have a chance at Ohio State. But who knows, man? Like a 9-4 Iowa with a win over Nebraska and a win over Ohio State probably gets them to the Citrus Bowl. So, I don't know, a lot of opportunity for a lot of these teams still, with only a few weeks left. Play that extra game in the conference championship, regardless of if you're going to even win it or not, is always a great opportunity. Obviously, Flame is very well known for always being in the Citrus Bowl or the playoff. This year, though, he's just settling for a bowl game. But still always a chance to get better, add another win to that career win column against another user in Mushbrain. So we'll see. I don't have anything from Flame just yet, so I'm just going to go with the typical heads and kick. So he does not win the toss, and here we go, Wilfork. I think Northwestern is a pretty good BearCave team, so this line might have been weird, but Illinois starts out with a TD. Obviously, they've been right in the middle of all the coordinator shenanigans. But Flame basically funding Logan. 500K for the transfer portal is absolutely incredible, as Illinois now has a 14-point lead going into the second half. Northwestern, they are at home. They need to get something sparking, and they're down 18 going into the fourth quarter. Not the kind of day they wanted. Can they bring this one back? It doesn't really look like it. They haven't been inspiring whatsoever. They finally get a touch. Oh my God, holy smokes. What just happened? Okay, so I just pressed next possession and they got a touchdown, 2-point conversion. They got the onside kick, and then they drove down and scored all within like half a second. Oh baby. So here we go now. Always watch what you wish for. Here we go. Can Northwestern get the ball back? We saw this with the UCLA LSU game and a 21-point blown. Are we going to see another one as over the middle, and there is a big conversion, and who else? I believe Tim Miles to Pee Wee Hop, the SFA player, the transfer from Iowa State. Or no, it's Eddie Royal, actually, who's the transfer from Tennessee. I always get Pee Wee and Eddie Royal mixed up. But one more first down will pretty much end this game. Handoff out wide. That's obviously all stat. SFA player rumbling and tumbling for a first down. Everyone's so scared to tackle him. Oh, dear. It looks like Illinois is going to get a W. Both these teams are going bowling, so the result doesn't really matter. Obviously, bragging rights. Handoff. All stat again. He stiffies a man, and he goes down. Yeah, Jarkus, they got a touchdown, a 2-point conversion, and then an onside kick all within 3 plays. And it didn't stop for me to sim. That was crazy. But yeah, we got an Illinois no cover on the field right now. And handoff up the gut out wide, and that is going to end the game, barring a turnover. Mike Allstott running it down their throats here today. He has 175 yards and 2 tutties. Mushbrain making an epic comeback, but it looks like it's just short, unless we see Logan call something ridiculous. The handoff, another power run. He's holding on to that ball for dear life. He saw the FSU game, and that is likely going to end the game. But we're going to see both of these teams in bowl games later on, about a week away from knowing their matchups. Last play of the game. Northwestern get a miracle. Hand off the gut, and Allstott breaks the tackle. He trips, but that's his game. He's not really speedy, but he finds the hole. He runs over you, and he keeps going. 33 seconds left. One last play. Here we go. And they now decide to end it. Illinois went from a Citrus Bowl win over Virginia last year, and they don't have an SFA quarterback, which is the big problem. But they still managed to be 7-5, and they are going bowling. Not that bad at all. One of the best offensive lines in the country. You got Muffy Breastfeeder on one side. You've got Nigel Pancake on the other. Mushbrain, though, he's building something special down there, or up there in Northwestern. Really liked what he's been doing. Remember, if this is your first year in the SFA, you haven't really had any impact much at all on your roster, so you really can't expect anything. So getting a bowl game is actually, like, insanely good. Ooh, North Carolina matchup. That could be fun. But all the bowl games are random, so probably the most sucky team to get probably at this point is Georgia State. If you draw Georgia State, it's just like, okay, like, thanks for the win, but like, I wanted something fun to watch, you know what I mean? We'll see. We'll see how the randomizer does it. But we still have conference championships next week. Remember, I always let the cutscenes play out, otherwise the game has a high chance of crashing. Yeah, exactly, you versus Air Force. Alright, you got Allstott. Boogie Toes gets a touchdown. Allstott again, and 2 from Brown. Let's see the actual stats here. Miles, he's had an okay time at this team. He's really big. You'd think he'd be a great quarterback, but he's kind of been holding him back. Same with this defense. Holman, SFA player. Lots of SFA guys on this roster. Muffy and Pancake going crazy. Man, it should have been Muffy Pancake. That would have been a great name. Tackle for losses. Xavier James, SFA player, freshman, gets a sack, but once again, missing in action this year has been Vince Wilfork. He fell out of the first round for me. He's supposed to have a massive year, so I don't know if he's going to leave or not. You might get him back based on how he's been playing this year. And then Northwestern, Ricky Foster, I really like the way he's played when we've watched him. Running the ball, Andy Brown, probably a place you could greatly improve next year. Lots of different receivers. Okay, 3 sacks isn't great. And then the defense is probably the problem. Only 1 sack, not a lot of deflections, no interceptions. No stars, really. So, kicker got done, though. So, 28-25 there for Northwestern. All right, Dogwater, here we go. It is time for the ECU game. Last one of the regular season. For those of you who have not been here, in Season 10, this game was the birth of the most epic rage monster clip you would ever see, when I lost because of a Bo Wallace interception to MTSU to lose a spot in the playoff. Last year, I destroyed these fucks, made the playoff, and then lost on some bullshit to Baylor. So, let's see what happens to me this year. As I've said the last couple of years, my seasons, the last 3 or 4 years, based on my team strength, It started in week 14 facing MTSU. So if I lose this game, I'm going to be absolutely triggered. But 10-1 East Carolina. Coach K, can we get it done? Yes, we do. Thank the Lord. We are on to the AC Championship. A win and into the playoff, most likely. Whew. Vanilovic gets a touchdown. Christian Richard pulling it off. You'll love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. I mean, this is the scary part if for anybody. Christian Richard throwing the ball, whatever. But this rushing attack is unstoppable when these two are playing. Only time we've seen them live on stream play together. We were up 35-0 on A&M. So, as we start the right side of the half, this is arguably the biggest game of the day. Kansas State at Kansas. Not only is this the Sunflower Showdown, this is one of the biggest rivalries in college football, but Kansas State has the chance to do the funniest thing ever. They have the chance to not only get bowl eligibility, but stop Fink from making the Big 12 championship, where he's been heavily favored all season long ever since Baylor started losing. After Duke UNC, Miami won, so they clinched the spot in the ACC championship. Tennessee won, beating Kentucky, so they are bowl eligible. And then Illinois just outlasted Northwestern. Nothing on the line there. It's just a good user game. And then ECU just won. So now we're on to the right side of the graphic for Kansas. This is Fink. Let me know, kick or receive if you're here. It's a lot closer on paper than it is in your head. Fink still has a chance to go to the playoff. He has to win this game, and then he has to beat Nebraska. But more than anything, he wants to just win this division to finally unseed Baylor. Now, Baylor, just the way everything's shaking out, they still have a pretty good chance to get an at-large bid. But this game matters so much to Fink's career and his legacy. Kyle White as well. He's having one hell of a year. He is currently the leading passer in the SFA. Not on the Heisman list. Some idiot named Arch Manning is there, who's ironically having the worst season out of his last 3, but he's probably going to win the Heisman Trophy. It doesn't make any sense. But we got Kansas here. Amazing pass offense, bad rush offense, obviously, because of Donatello Perkins going out with the injury and going to the transfer portal. But can Kansas State do the unthinkable? Think if you want kick or receive, let me know. Otherwise, you're kicking. 10-point spread here for Kansas at home as the favorites. 61.5, I think, for the over-under. May not be exactly right. Might be a half a point or two off. But Kansas State, those of you who don't remember, they made the playoff in Season 9. They've been pretty good. Probably would have made the playoff again in Season 10 had they not had quarterback injuries. So this team is still pretty good. Still have a lot of players from that team that took Georgia to overtime in the quarterfinal. What is going to happen here today? Is Baylor going to clinch the division, or is it going to be Finkelschmidt, the Finkster, who's been fired from the most teams, who's been coach of the most teams, one of the original founding fathers? Can he finally get to his first conference championship game since he took Marshall there in Season 6 and actually won it over App State, who was ranked number 1 at a time? We get a safety here, and they take the lead. Kansas finding any way to win this game, and the defense has been stifling, but they take the lead at half. They are down 5. Kansas is crumbling before our eyes. They get a field goal. They're still in this game. It's a close one, though, as we head to the fourth quarter, down by 2. Oh, baby, and Kansas State makes it a 2-score lead. Oh, no. Number 12, Kansas on the ropes. We're going to go one play at a time. Kansas currently has the ball. They punt it away. A score here from Kansas State likely ends it. And they get a penalty. An incomplete. Kansas gets the ball back. They are still down 2 scores, so we cannot jump in. It's 4th down. And that is going to be a punt. Why are they punting it? First and goal, and they score! Kansas is getting demolished on at home in front of the fans, and this is the crippling losses we've seen from Kansas, down 17. And that does it. Baylor is going back to the Big 12 championship. How do they keep getting away with it? Kansas crumbles at the worst second against their biggest rival. Utter disaster. Nothing from the second half. Let's see how this shook out. Kyle White, what are you doing? He regressed to his former self. 43% completion and 1 interception in the biggest game of your life? Oh no. Robert Thomas, 37 yards. Kyle White did get in one on the ground. JJ Justice did his thing. But oh Nelly. Donnie Stone, the left tackle. They kind of finally caught up with this team. They only got 1 sack. Dave McCormick didn't do much. You got Patrick Chung didn't do anything. You got, what just happened? This is a huge upset. And I just lost $30K on this game. I bet $33,000 on this game. That's wild. So Kansas State, Joe Mitchell gets it done as a senior. They are going bowling. They might get their bid snubbed, but we shall see. Xavion Luvu, SFA player. Oh my goodness. They got an interception here from Sims. Tough look there for Kansas. Scoring only 12 points when it mattered the most. They still might be at play for a for potentially the Citrus Bowl or a high-level bowl, but playoff is out of their control now. Heartbreak here for Kansas and the Jayhawks. They felt like it was their year. And somehow Baylor wins the division yet again, and they're going to face Nebraska next week. All right, next up, we've now got Georgia Tech and Georgia. Georgia Tech needs a win here. Mike, if you're here, heads or tails, kick or receive. This game doesn't really matter for Georgia other than obviously bragging rights. They are going to the SEC Championship with a chance at an auto bid. They would love to win this game, be 10-2, because there is a small chance if they lose close to Ole Miss that they would still get an at-large bid at 3 losses. But they're not thinking about that. They just want to smush these guys. But I know Georgia Tech played them close last year. You got Chandler Jones playing out of his mind on that defensive line now. So, we have anything here from Coach Mike? I don't see it. Remember, folks, we've got a big-time game day coming up. Nebraska and Iowa. And as well, obviously, recruiting. Second to last week, Kamari Cruz, the outside linebacker, is deciding where he's going to go, the 5-star. Whoever gets that signing also gets an Instagram post tomorrow. Here we go. Got Georgia, Georgia Tech, Ryan McBride at Paul Sanford Stadium. Obviously, it's not Sanford, but that's kind of funny. Georgia Tech, he's not on the bubble to get fired for once. So Mike is happy as a clam on the sideline today. He has no more punishments to hang his hat on. Heads and kick like normal. I don't see him in the chat. But can they get to a bowl game? Their first since his inaugural year. He had a 9-win season. So let's see what happens. Georgia, nothing doing. This game is always typically close. This was a 14-point spread, I believe, for Georgia. And it's a 57.5 over-under, but no score quite yet. Georgia, they do get a first touchdown, and Georgia Tech responds immediately. Georgia gets back, and they take a 7-point lead into halftime. All right, here we go. 14-14, big-time touchdown, but Georgia drives right back down. And there's the 14-point lead. Are they going to outlast Georgia Tech? It does look like it. They extend it to 21. They add one, but a quick touchdown, a 93-yard return for a touchdown. That is massive. It's still a 21-point lead. Can Georgia Tech battle back? It's still 14 points. That's currently a cover. They add another one. And that is going to do it. No defense here for Georgia Tech. And there it is. They cover on the nose, 14 points. So DJ St. Julian gets a touchdown, but a lot. Juice Riggs gets a touchdown as well, DJ St. Julian. So no bowl game for Georgia Tech and Coach Mike, but a fantastic year considering where this team has been and what they've gone through. Next season, Marco Schroeder will be an upperclassman. Juice Riggs, look at him go as a freshman. Love you, Juice Riggs. 14 receptions, 205 yards, and a tutty. If you picked him in fantasy, which nobody did, that would have been a crazy stat line. Fox Crater, pretty much all SFA offensive line. AJ Sampson, lots of guys here, all young, all pretty much BearCave reward players. So Mike is going to be just fine. Expect him to be a big player in the ACC in the future as long as ECU doesn't pummel him. Ryan McBrien, big-time game. We're going to see him today. Or we're going to see him likely in the playoff. I mean, we'll have to see. Jimmy Reed as well. They have some tight ends. On defense, Jordan Whiting, SFA player, got 4 tackles for loss. Got an interception for Victor Ware. Thomas King got a sack. Couple from Trey Jones. Taylor Sockrider is entering the portal. He got 6 tackles. And then also return man. We saw Kennard Short. He's entering the portal as well. And especially after this, Cody Williams basically taking his job from him with a punt return for a touchdown. So he's going to get out of Athens as quickly as possible. All right, a few more games here in BearCave and the end of the regular season in Season 12. It's been a crazy year, full of ups and downs like normal. Great storylines. That's the best part. And sure, you can follow your own team, but following the kind of the story as it unfolds nationally is always the best part and the most fun part for me. So here we go. Next up is we have a game that has actually been the game day game to finish the regular season the last 2 years, and then all of a sudden these two teams take shits at the biggest moments. This game was looking like it'd be a top 10 matchup, and then all of a sudden now it's kind of a stinker. You got Arizona, who started out 5-2 on the year, is now 5-6, struggling for bowl eligibility. And then Arizona State, they were in the top 5, top 10, and they lost a horrible one last week to Utah to lose the division and get locked out of the Pac-12 championship. With a win here, they still are alive for an at-large bid, but we shall see. Coach Rick on the sidelines, Dogwater heads and kick. He's bringing the suit out. This is, despite being really lackluster results, I mean, this is just tough to look at if you're an Arizona State fan. A 7-5 team above you in the rankings, no matter what, that hurts. So we're gonna see if Arizona can. They've lost 4 straight. Nothing can go worse. You got to get a bowl game here. If you don't make a bowl after starting 5-2, that is about to be the funniest thing ever. Like, sure, Iowa State collapsed, right? But they finished 6-6. They're fine. And they had a reason. But Arizona just stunk it up. I don't know what their last win was, but whatever the Washington loss happened, the 4 overtime game, it was just absolutely wraps. Dogwater doesn't have any faith in his team. He lost the coin toss. Let's hope that's the only thing he loses today. Can Arizona find a way to get to a bowl game? Arizona State probably a lock for the Citrus Bowl. This would be, I think, potentially Rick's for sure his second or even his third Citrus Bowl, as Arizona State takes a massive lead. Big time touchdown for Arizona. But once again, they just don't move the ball. And Arizona State kind of taking it out on their rivals. 14-point game here at half. Arizona, though, battling back. They mixed an extra point. That Seabass, you know him, you love him in the blood. 24-16 as we enter the 4th quarter. We're going to go 1 possession at a time. Arizona State, can they do it? Yes, they do. So we cannot jump in here. We need a touchdown. Can Gamara get him down the field? He's going. Can they punch it in? They do. And they're going to go for 2, and it's no good. So it's still a 9-point game, so we cannot jump in. And a quick touchdown for Ricky Tiso. His first play after. It looks like Dogwater just gave him a touchdown. So let's see if he can somehow get another touchdown. Wishbone popping off, and then he drops a pass. Minute left. Can they get in the end zone? There it is. Simmons gets a touchdown. Can he get back within a score? No, no good again to Greenberg. Once again, a 9-point game. And now they're just kneeling it out. 4th down, and that is the game. 37-28. Arizona just couldn't get it done. The 2-point conversions didn't give them a chance. Aaron Ford started us out. Aaron Ford popped off his potentially last regular season game. It is his last regular season game. Lazard with a big touchdown. Greenberg, Tiso, Gamara, all SFA players except Simmons here. Gamara here, big time game. He still has 2 years left. Bright future ahead of him, maybe. Bowers, Gamara, and then you've got Wishbone. No touchdowns for him today. Lazard outperformed him, spreading the ball all around. Lewis McQueen, I guess that's Taylor McQueen's brother. Taylor McQueen led in tackles. You got 4 tackles for loss from Lionel Sanders, but no extracurriculars from the Legion of Dread. I mean, kind of lackluster. 37 points given up. Kind of a bummer. And then Seabass, let's see how bad it was. 1 for 1 and 1 for 2 on the extra points. You absolutely love to see it from him. Arizona State, Cody Green, no touchdowns for him, but another big day. And Tiso actually popping off with Aaron Ford. Maybe Aaron Ford got an injury, I don't know, or backup came in. Not quite sure. Rafa Hooker, though, the freshman, coming in clutch. Seymour, who dropped the Hail Mary that would have tied the game. And then they've, of course, got Curtis Lofton, who did get an interception. Ari Sanders, SFA player. And that is pretty much it. And then let's see, Roberto Aguayo, 1 for 1, 4 for 4. Easily the better kicker there. And there it is. Where's my players of the game? There we go. So Gamara gets player of the game. Taylor McQueen as well. All right, folks. We've got one more game here in BearCave, and it is a doozy. You got number 1. Yes, that's right. Number 1, Clemson taking on Skook in Texas A&M. But the thing is, Clemson, they don't have a starting quarterback. It's been kind of a rough ride for them the last couple of weeks, but they've been surviving. Michael Smith at quarterback. So this is always just a standard who wins. Are you going to take the upset in Texas A&M? Or are you going to go with Clemson? Are they going to somehow find a way to win? No spreads or anything involved. Get those Bobinas ready. You got 1 minute here in Skook. If you are here, heads or tails, kick or receive. So we got to wait for it here. But right after this game, we take about a 5-minute break and go to the bathroom and get all set up for game day. After game day, we're going to go immediately. I'm going to post. I got to sim the week. I got to post the Oklahoma State game, and then I've got to sim again, or it automatically sims to Conference Championship week. Then I got to post all the games, and then we'll do the committee rankings, and then recruits. And then I am probably going to get the game day choice out tonight because we know the Conference Championships. So look out for that. Would like to see a winner by tomorrow. That way we can figure out which game the Patreon is going to watch. So yeah. Only 60 coins on Clemson. Am I reading that right? Anyways, I don't see Skook, but he is going to be the man. We got some Rex Beavers. Can he get a massive victory? Easily the top strength of schedule in the country this year. Texas A&M has faced Clemson, Georgia, and East Carolina. So, among others. So, we'll see what happens here. Clemson, obviously, 22-game win streak on the line. Is Skook going to be the one to end it? Remember, though, Texas A&M did make the playoff in Season 10. So, we'll see what happens. And Skook wanted this game on his schedule. He asked for, as a Patreon member, he asked for ECU and Clemson, and he got them. So, see what he wants. See what he does with this game. Rex Beavers. Definitely throwing his freshmen into the fire, but this might set up A&M to have a really good next 3 years with Beavers at the helm. Howard's Rock, don't know why it's named after a person and don't know anything, but we got paw power. Remember, the backup quarterback is at the helm, but our cover athlete, SFA player, Martin Black on the defense, never lets this team lose, even when they should lose. Always finds a way to get them the ball back. Martin Black is responsible for probably like 47 or 40% of all scooping scores we've ever seen. Think you missed the Kansas game. You should go back and watch it. Alright, I don't see any skooks, so we got heads and kick. Alright, here we go. Texas A&M, can they pull off the upset? Pull off what Boston College couldn't do, what Florida State couldn't do? It's 7-7. These games have been super close the last couple of weeks for Clemson, as they do not have Walter Hearn, who was leading the Heisman race when he got injured, as an interception by Beavers, and then the next play, an interception by Smith, as we go to halftime now. Down 4, Clemson gets a touchdown. It's going to be up to see if Clemson's defense can hang on. Fourth quarter, they're down by 4. A&M goes up 2 scores. Everything's on the line here for Clemson. Basically a 2-season win streak, and oh no, A&M is on. It has them. A&M, they're going to take down number 1. So number 1 and number 2 look as if they are going down, and they do. A&M takes them out. Skook just beat the number 1 team in the country by 2 scores. Now remember, they do have a backup quarterback. This does not matter really for Clemson, as Walter Hearn should be back next week, but it's still a massive victory for Skook and Rex Beavers himself. I love this guy, one of my favorite players in the SFA. 2-2, unbelievable. He got what he had to do done. This team is really good overall wise. They took care of business on the road, ending Clemson's win streak. Ohio State lost as well. So the committee is going to have some stuff to talk about. Ironically, I don't think much is probably going to change at the very top, but we'll see what everybody's thinking. But yeah, I mean, big time win there. Let's check out Clemson. Michael Smith. Clemson has been, he did not have a good game this week, but Clemson's been number 1 in the rankings all season long. So we will see what happens next week. Is Drew Stowey. They do know that they are facing Miami next week. Team I believe that they've already beaten. But Martin Black, 9 tackles, tried to do it his thing. Probably didn't really give too much effort here, as they know this game did not matter. But kicking wise, and there you have it. Oh, yeah, so the MacGuffin, Texas A&M has it. All right. I got to update that on the sheet. So I do have to... all right, here we go. Texas A&M. All right, a lot happened here today. Holy shit, we got multiple top 10 upsets. What we thought was pretty much chalk was not. Let's just make sure we only have one game left. That's game day and nothing else. I can't do a next week preview. It's going to be bedlam. It's happening after game day. I'll sim it and post it. And then conference championships, obviously. But we now know all of them. So, I mean, hey, if the shoe fits, I'm saying. You guys said Texas A&M wasn't a quality win. 8-4, the only win over Clemson. I don't know what to tell you, man. I was beating them at full strength 35-0. So transitively, I was beating Clemson. What is that? 46-0. So I don't know, man. But anyways, let me stop with the ECU propaganda. That is BearCave. Kind of a wild game. Let me complete your prediction before I get out of here. If you put money on Texas A&M, which all of it was on, there you go. Have your 60 coins. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll be back in a few minutes for Iowa and Nebraska. Thanks for watching.